Hey guys, it's Sean Reese here, and today we're going to be talking about laptops one more time. Well, specifically since I got myself a new laptop. Now, I did have my old laptop, and I'll have it in the video here, which was an Acer Aspire 3, and I used it as a really entry-level gaming laptop. I went ahead and modded it, added a couple of few things, and for the price point that it was in, it was a really great laptop. Well, my sister-in-law had a laptop that wound up conking out on her, so I went ahead and gave her that laptop, and it gave me an opportunity to go ahead and get another laptop and see if I can actually get into the gaming laptop category. So after the difficult decision, it was to search through all different types of laptops, I finally settled on one, and it was this one right here. It's going to be the Alpha 15. This is a laptop from MSI. It is the first and only so far 7nm laptop made by AMD. So it's going to have all their new 7nm technology. It comes with a Ryzen 7 3750H processor and their new mobile 5500N graphics processor. So what made me choose this laptop right here? There's definitely a plethora of laptops out there. I didn't want to go too high up on the budget because I still wanted to remain in the budget type category, even though this one was several $100s more than I paid for my last laptop. I feel like this laptop is still entry level the way that MSI and AMD are aiming it at people. It's definitely it's on the lower end of the spectrum, not too far low, but it's on the lower end of the spectrum of people to choose for a laptop that has really good features, and they'll be able to do the things that they want to do. So we're going to go over a couple of the specs real quick before I go into the full review of the laptop. It comes with Windows 10, like I said before, a Ryzen 7 3750H processor. That's 4-core, 8 threads. It starts at a base clock of 2.3, boosts all the way up to 4 gigahertz. It does have an aluminum black top on the cover. The resolution is a 15.6 Full HD 1920 by 1080p IPS level 120 hertz thin bezel monitor. Like I said before, the AMD Radeon RX 5500M mobile processor for the GPU. It comes with 4 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory. It comes with a backlit keyboard. It has giant speakers. This unit came with 8 gigabytes of 2666 megahertz of DDR4 memory. It also came with a 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD for storage. So it's wireless. It's going to be an Azure Wave 802.11 AC Wi-Fi. It does have an SD card reader. It does come with Bluetooth. It also came with a 720p HD webcam. I'm not going to do the potato thing because, it's 720p and I don't use webcams. It has 2 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports. That's Type C. So it comes with 3 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports. It comes with 2 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports that are Type C. It isn't Thunderbolt, but it's still, Type C. It comes with a full HDMI port and a mini display port. It also has a 180 watt power battery and a 51 watt battery inside the laptop itself. So the dimensions are 14.8 inches wide, 9.76 inches deep, and a little over 1.08 inches thick. The weight comes in about 5 pounds, and personally to me, you feel every bit of that 5 pounds. Now, so far as looking at what the laptop has itself, it is nice. When you do lift the lid, you have to kind of use 2 hands. It's not going to go ahead and open up with 1 hand, and that's particularly because most of the weight of this laptop is all the way in the back, so it's just going to teeter that way. But other than that, once you get it open, it does move pretty smooth, stays in its place, and it has really good viewing angles. Now, this laptop comes in 2 models. You have the high-end model, which comes with a 144 hertz screen, and it comes with the per key RGB keyboard. Everything else is pretty much the same between the 2 laptops. Instead, on this version, I have the 120 hertz screen with just the red backlit keyboard. It has a plastic shell. It doesn't have any flex. It doesn't have a whole lot of flex on the keyboard. So when you're typing, you're going to be able to type with confidence and not worry about, your hands sinking into the abyss while you're using the keyboard. But the lid is that brushed aluminum, like I said, to add a little more rigidity to the laptop. Overall, it feels pretty solid. One of the best features that I do love of this laptop is the trackpad, which is really smooth. Now, on my job, I do use a laptop every day. It is a Dell XPS, one of those rugged laptops, and typing on it is like, a little subpar for me, but using this one, the keystroke is nice. There's a nice little tactile bump at the end. When you're typing, your keystrokes are really deliberate, and it does have, I don't know if it has like that anti-ghosting technology when you press down. So when you press down on the keyboard, it is going to register all the keys that you actually use. I have to check on that again. You do have like the slightly branding a little bit on the laptop with all the marketing material on the side, and then the AMD logos on the left-hand side. What makes this keyboard also very well is that the fact that it's a SteelSeries keyboard, and it has their RGB software in it. Now, one of the cool thing about this laptop is that it's a FreeSync monitor, so you can go ahead and sustain those frame rates while you're gaming. Now, since this is primarily what this unit is and what I bought it for, gaming on it is actually really well. I did play a couple of games on, and I'll show you a little bit later what the stats are for all the games that we played on this laptop. But gaming on it is actually very, very nice. All the ports and stuff they give you on the side, I wish there was a couple of more USB, either 3.1 or 3.2 ports on this, so you can have about the equal amount on both sides for peripherals and things and such. But overall, you know, it has pretty good placement for when you want to go ahead and put your mouse, or if you want to use a full-size keyboard or anything else that you want to plug into the laptop to enhance your gaming experience. The design language on the laptop, overall, I like. I do like thin laptops. Just, you know, I can't afford the really, really thin laptops that a lot of other manufacturers make, because when you have something that small, you know, you're gonna have to pay to play. But, you know, here at Heavytek, we like to take low-end items, we like to mod them and put some extra stuff in the laptop to beef them up to what we need it to be. And this laptop is no different. Now, MSI does give you opportunity, give you upgrading. Taking the laptop apart is no issue. It has just 11 basic screws on the back. Moving to the back of the laptop, as you can see, there's a lot of ventilation. So a lot of cool air is going to be able to make it into the fans to go ahead and cool the GPU and CPU. One thing that really kind of sold me on this was looking at the internals of different laptops, was noticing that the fans are separated. So they're not like two fans together with the heat pipes running across the GPU and CPU. It actually has one fan for the CPU and one fan for the GPU. So things can be relatively cool through operation, and they're not going to get heat soaked because maybe you're gaming and the GPU is getting pretty hot, so that's going to move over and push hot air over the CPU, and then now you're trying to use these two fans to excavate all that out of the laptop to keep temperatures down. Now, taking the back case off was actually really, really simple. So only 11 screws, using like a little plastic pry tool. The back was able to come off really well. The tabs didn't look like they were too flimsy when you took it apart, and then everything snaps in back together like it's supposed to. Now, moving on to what's actually inside, as you can see, modding the laptop was actually great. We went ahead and added a Samsung 860 EVO 500 gig SSD that I got on a Black Friday deal. For some extra storage for the Steam games, and then I went ahead and partitioned the 512 NVMe SSD, one that would just have Windows on it, and part of the drive I could use for utilities and programs that way, because I kind of like to keep it separated from the OS. Now, it didn't come with a whole lot of bloatware in the laptop, but it still had some more stuff that I didn't care for. So as for me, when I get something, and I did it for the last time for my laptop, as I wipe it and I reloaded Windows. Now, other things, this laptop, the particular model I came with, only came with 8 gigabytes of that 2666 DDR4 memory. So, you know, for optimal gaming, I went ahead and changed the whole kit. So I used a G-Skill kit and installed 2666 megahertz of SODIMM DDR4 memory and loaded that up and gave myself 16 gigabytes. So after doing all the modding, adding the hard drive and adding the RAM to the CPU, everything winds up running great. Playing games on it was fairly smooth, and it gives you an overall enjoyable gaming experience. This is definitely something nice that if you wanted to take it on a trip, you can go ahead and take advantage of the low thermals. Now, the other part of modding that I did, I also removed the heat sinks off the GPU and CPU, cleaned off that old thermal paste. I mean, I don't know what kind of thermal paste it is or what it was, but I did go ahead and put on some Cryonaut. I went ahead and cleaned off the two dies and applied some Cryonaut on them, and my temperatures immediately dropped anywhere from about 9 to 10 degrees Celsius. So when I first got the laptop, initial idle operation, I was running about 51 to 52 degrees Celsius, and then under load when I was gaming, I was running about 84 to 83 degrees Celsius. So when I went ahead and applied the Cryonaut, I saw 39 degrees Celsius once, but it did hang around mostly around like the 45 to 44 degrees Celsius on idle, and then under load, I was seeing the mid 60s, anywhere from about like 63 to 67 degrees Celsius while gaming. So it's a nice 10 to 12 Celsius spread just by removing the old thermal paste and replace it with a high performing thermal paste. Now that could be left up to whatever you want to use. I bought the Cryonaut on Amazon for about $9. To me, it was worth it. You can use other great thermal paste like Heavytek, their MX5, and that would probably be the only one. Well, no, Noctua has like good thermal paste. So if you have any Noctua air coolers or you have some extra thermal paste from them laying around, the thermal paste is actually pretty decent to use also. Now we're gonna go on to the benchmarks of the games. Go ahead and enjoy it and we'll wrap. So as you can see, you're getting way over 60 frames per second on a lot of the games that I featured that I was playing. So this laptop is very, very capable. So it is living up to its reputation as an entry-level gaming laptop. You can play most modern AAA titles, and I just did default settings. The only one I had to adjust settings on was Modern Warfare 3, and just so I wasn't getting stuttering frame rates and the frame rates were consistent. Now this particular laptop I got on a deal. It was an open box, so somebody had returned it and then they were listing it for a heavily discounted price, which was good for me because when I got the laptop, somebody opened the outer box, but they didn't open the inner box inside. So it was brand new. It came in its retail packaging. I had to cut the little plastic just to open up the actual box that the laptop was in. So essentially I got a brand new laptop at a discounted price, but you know, I guess since somebody opened the outer box and maybe didn't want it and sent it back, you know, they had to discount it as something that's not new. So this laptop goes for $900 for the 120 Hertz model and then $1,000 for the 144 Hertz model. Now for what it is, I think that the price is a little high. I think MSI AMD could probably priced it a little bit lower. I think for the entry level, it should have been around $799 to $800. So compared to the other laptops that I was going against, one was an Acer Nitro. Yeah, it was like an Acer Nitro 5. It was this particular one was, I don't know what it was, a refurbished model or not, but it was around $600 something. It was a 17.3 inch screen. It was still an IPS panel, 1920 by 1080p. It was a 60 Hertz panel, not 120, but it was a 60 Hertz panel. It was a 60 Hertz panel, not 120. It did come with two M.2 SSD slots, one 2.5 inch slot, and you can still upgrade the RAM to up to 32 or 64. No, it's like 64 gigs you could upgrade the RAM to. Now, I was looking for that in this. I wish it had another M.2 slot that you can go ahead and add more memory to it. Now, this one did not have any extra M.2 slots, which was kind of a little bit of a letdown, but now understand that the Acer also came with a 6-core 12-thread processor. It was an Intel 9750, I believe, or 9350. Whatever their 9th gen CPU is, it was a 6-core processor. It came with a GTX 1650. So the processor and the graphics card was a pretty good combination, and it cost about like, you know, almost $300 less than this one. So I'm like, you get quite a bit of laptop for the less money. Now you get new architecture, you get a new design, it's brand new, and the fact that AMD only stuck a 4-core 8-thread processor in it, you know, it's kind of a little bit of a letdown. Now, I'm not saying that this laptop is niche. Who I believe this laptop is for the person that maybe this isn't their only source of gaming. So if they have custom built laptops at home, or they have custom built desktops or other gaming devices, taking this on a trip to play some modern titles or some older titles that you like to play, it'll do it without blinking an eye. And so that's what I think that this laptop is really for. If you don't have like a gaming desktop at home, then I would say that there are other laptops out in the field that you can choose that are better, that if you were going to spend your money around the same price point, you were going to get a little bit more than what this one is offering right now. Now, I don't know if MSI is going to be releasing any more of these AMD laptops in different SKUs and configurations, but I kind of assume they would, gauging on the popularity and the sales of this one, what they're going to do and build and present to the public. If you're looking for a be-all, end-all workhorse, you're gonna have to spend more money. You're just gonna have to get a different laptop that has those feature sets and that sustainability that's just not in this particular laptop. And it is well made. It is not cheap looking or flimsy by any stretch of the imagination. I think AMD and MSI should have priced it a little bit lower to make it a little more attractive in the market. And like I said, I just happened to come up upon it on a deal. So that would about be the only reason I got this one, is because in the price range I was looking for, I was able to pick up this laptop and it has a nice set of features. So if you're a deal hunter, you can definitely pick up something like this and save yourself a couple of bucks. But if you're just gonna go straight brand new, you know, retail price, I think there are other laptops in around the same category that maybe give you a little bit more, especially give you a higher CPU core count to deal with around the same price range. But if this is all you need, you know, you don't need something super extravagant, then like I said, it's great. I'm interested to see what the other manufacturers are going to be doing with these new AMD products and how many cores are going to be shoved into these things and how efficient they are, power efficiency, gaming efficiency. So my recommendation is thumbs up. If you're willing to put in the energy to mod this laptop by changing out the memory and storage, then you're definitely gonna get what you paid for out of this laptop. I think it'll be enjoyable for you for the time you have it for years to come, because it's very well built, it's very solid, it's very useful, it's very efficient. I would just probably ask them to work on the price a little bit, but understanding what people need laptops for and your different needs, I'd say that this is fine. So if you liked the video today, guys, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more content coming from the channel. And like always, guys, be awesome, be heavy.